Hello student, welcome to chapter number 7, Linux operating system. This is your part 1 video. Okay. Now Linux is an operating system. Before that, let's understand the meaning or the actual meaning of operating system, which is also in short form written as or known as OS. Okay. Operating system is basically a system software that helps the each and every component of computer to work or function properly. Okay, like very commonly used one which we all use are Windows. It is an operating system. Okay, because it is very well said that hardware or all hardwares are nothing without a software. Whichever hardware you are using in your computer, that is nothing without a software. Okay, to make that hardware work properly or function properly, we need operating system. Okay, so we can say that an operating system is an interface between the user and the computer system. Okay, this is the platform on which all the software are installed and run. Okay, so Linux is also an operating system. Now let's get into the detail about Linux. What is it? Linux is a free version of Unix developed primarily by Linus Torvalds. Okay, while a student at the University of Helsinki in Finland, with the help of hundreds of programmers scattered around the world across the internet for Intel-based PCs. Linus takes Minix, an Unix-like operating system developed by Andrew Tannenbaum for Intel-based PCs as inspiration. The source code of Linux itself is available on the internet, so one can access the source to modify and expand the operating system or the OS to satisfy one's need. Since Linux is a Unix-like kernel, all programs written for Unix can be compiled, not complied, it is compiled and run under it, but not vice versa. Okay, that means vice versa means that all programs that you write for Unix can be compiled and run under Linux, but the Linux program or whatever codes are written in Linux cannot be all run on Unix. Okay, so Linux is just an extension of Unix. Okay, now Torvalds introduced Linux in the year 1991. He worked on the Linux project and wrote the source code for the Linux kernel. Torvalds made it available on the internet. Many programmers added to the code, changed it, and built in support for all kinds of hardware. He released the system to a community of hackers on the internet and asked them to work with it, fix it, and enhance it. The source code for the software is freely available. Anyone can work on it. There is a vast amount of software that can be used with Linux, all of which include features that can compete with or surpass those of any other operating system in the world. So we can say that Linux operating system is improving day by day as many companies provide support for Linux over internet. Red Hat Inclusive, a Linux software development company, released the source code for the software. Linux is a very popular operating system because of its some of the great features. Now let's get into the detail of features of Linux, why it is making Linux so popular. Linux operating system is freely available, and since enhancement of the code can be done by anyone, so we have the robust way of operating system. Okay, now which can be loaded in as many machines as many times as necessary with a single package without any license. Like Microsoft, they provide Windows operating system, so you have to get the license for that, but for Linux no need of Linux license, and then you can install on many times on any number of machines. Then it is the multi-user operating system. Multi-user means more than one user can access at the same computer and its resources such as memory, printer, etc. at the same time. Here the terminals having only monitors and keyboards that are connected with the main computer whose resources are available by the user. Fine. Now these terminals that are connected with the main computer are called dumb terminal, where the multi-users are accessing the same computer for different purpose, okay, and they are sharing the hardware too, like the printer and the memory of the computer system and so on. So these connected computers are called dumb terminals. Then multitasking, task means the work, means the capacity of the operating system to perform several tasks simultaneously, one after the other, okay. For example, it allows us to type a program in the editor, to print a document on the printer while simultaneously executing some other program. It does the multitasking by using time sharing technique, okay. Now next is graphical user interface. It is very interactive feature. Graphical user, short form is GUI. It can rely on two working environment, that is shell, which is a work interface command line similar to DOS X window, with lots of graphic interface option, including one that is very similar to an improved Windows operating system. Basically, graphical user interface is whatever function or some task you have to do or command you have to send to the computer to perform various operations, we have interactive icons. Icons are the small pictures which are available in the form of command, and those icons are very user friendly, because if you will place your mouse pointer on that, if you don't know that what is that icon is all about, so what will happen? The small pop-up help will come, okay, a box will come which will be telling the name of that icon. So it is said it is user friendly. So this feature is provided for this Linux also. Okay, just like DOS is there. DOS is what? It is a command line interface where you have to type each and every command for performing whatever command you wish to, you have to type. Then Linux is POSIX compliant and supports most of the standard sets for all Unix system. And Linux operating system is safe from virus, since common user don't have access to the system main kernel, okay. Now main kernel is a device where the interaction between user and computer takes place. So common people don't have the access to that kernel, so it is safe from virus too. Then next is Linux has program called DOS AMV. It creates a DOS emulator that can execute many DOS applications. DOS is the disk operating system. Then Linux provides strong security to prevent the unauthorized access at different levels. So security level is also high at Linux operating system. Then Linux offers support for a variety of local area network, that is LAN, boards, modem and serial devices to connect your Linux system to a network. Linux also comes with a lots of other useful and free software such as text editor, browser is for internet use, then scientific application, etc. So these were the features of Linux. Next we have parts of Linux. Linux operating system has following important parts. What are they? First one is kernel. The kernel is the core of Linux operating system. The kernel controls sources of computer, allotting them to different users and tasks. It is loaded in whenever the system boots. It manages the entire resources of the system. The functions performed by kernel are, what are the functions? It is the core of the operating system, and it performs which function? Managing the machine's memory and allocating it to each process, organizing the transfer of data from one part of the computer to the other, and accepting the instructions from shell and carrying them out, enforcing the access permission that are enforced on the file system. So this is what the work of kernel, okay. Next we have shell. Linux has a simpler user interface called the shell that has power to provide the services that a user wants. The shell acts as command interpreter. It takes each command and passes it to the operating system kernel to be acted upon. It then displays the result of this operation on the screen. Now, how this function is performed? The functions what are performed by shell are creates an environment that meets the user needs, write shell script, manipulate the command history, automatically complete the command line, edit the command line. The most popular shells are bash, pdcache and tesh and zsh, ash, etc. Next is the Linux file system. A file system is a logical method of organizing and storing large amount of information in a way which make it easy to manage. Files are organized with an hierarchy of directories. Directories must contain files and other directories. Like in Windows you have folder and sub-folder. Same way directories are folder only in Linux. Okay. All files in Linux operating system are stored on the disk under one main directory called the root directory. Like you have C drive, the root directory for your Windows. Same way here also we have one main directory where all other files, subfolders are created, subdirectories are created like E drive, D drive and so on. The partition is done. There are three categories of files. Now one is the ordinary file, then we have directory files and special files. Now X Windows. Now what is this X Windows? Very commonly asked question in your board exam. Linux is the powerful framework for working with graphical application and it is referred to as X Windows system. X handles the function of opening X-based graphic user interface application and displaying them on the X server process. Linux has an X-based desktop environment to provide a desktop metaphor and Windows Manager to provide the graphical user interface application like icons, window frames, menus and colors or a combination of those items called themes. Okay. Next we have types of Linux. Now Linux is available in different forms. There are so many distributions of Linux available. Now which are they? Red Hat Linux, which is available in the site www.redhat.com. Then we have SUSE Linux, that is www.suse.com. Then Madrix Linux, that is madrixsoft.com. So these are various Debian GNU, their concerned website address. Then Slackware Linux with the concerned website address, Caldera Linux, Linux Pro, Turbo Linux. So these all you can get it from these website address. Okay. Next we come to command line interface. Now command line interface is the opposite of GUI, that is graphical user interface. Graphical user interface where you find the icons of all the command where you have to click and have an interactive section over there. But in command line what is happening? Let's see. Shell in Linux word as CLI. Okay. Now how it works? It displays a prompt on the screen. Prompt means this, which you get like a DOS you have. C prompt you get now over DOS. Same way like that you have a prompt on the screen at shell also in Linux, at which you can have to give various commands to perform various tasks. Now this prompt is known as shell prompt because this is a Linux. So Linux we have kernel and shell. So this prompt is known as shell, whereas in DOS it is known as C prompt, okay, or DOS prompt. The shell interface provides a way to run programs, work with the file system, compile computer code and manage the computer. The line where we enter command along with its option command argument is known as command line. That means you don't have any interactive icons over there. You have to type each and every command, okay, for whichever command you want to perform, you have to type each and every command. And a command line usually ends with a new line character. The command line completes only after the user has hit the enter key, then only it will be executed. Now the backslash symbol placed at the end of a line continues the command to the next line, ignoring the hit of enter key. Several commands may be written in a single command line. They must be separated by semicolon. Okay. An example $WHO or date. These are the command line interface. Okay. And next we have Linux command. Now a command is an instruction given to the shell, okay, and the kernel will obey that instruction. Linux provides several commands for its user to easily work with it. The important Linux commands are grouped according to their function, which is as follows. So further Linux command we will be continuing in my next video, that is part 2 video of your chapter number 7, Linux operating system. Till then, revise thoroughly some history of Linux, how it was developed, who developed, and in which year it was developed, what are its features and what are its functions and parts also. Okay, revise them thoroughly, children. Thank you.